I think that is a lovely place we got to
Oh
because
yeah.
as you were speaking, I see various visions about this. I'm sure you do too, but this time I saw the Earth in a sort of a curved plane, and these people, you, me, and our friends, as these little tent holders of an energy, of the Earth energy. It's like we've popped up, and so the extent of our auric field can help her sustain her regeneration and replenishment despite all those technological
Spot
tools
on.
and overlays.
Spot on. In order for humanity to be sabotaged, this had to begin with the planet. Many great wars were fought over who controls the energetic grids of Earth, and then disabling her natural nervous system, or the ley lines, or the harmonic natural grids. That was not an easy task either. Many times, the opposition had to resort to human sacrifice. They
This
would,
is important.
yes,
I would like to talk about this because I see many people saying, "Oh, this amazing pyramid in
mhm,
Teotihuacan, and this one is so beautiful. It's amazing."
right,
And I think, no, 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 no. This is where they killed and slaughtered the innocent for
yes,
energy release. I have just around the corner in my little village, I had this strange hill which
mhm,
has some steps. The way we have these hill forts
right,
in England,
yes,
and then a little small conical hill. And I always noticed this. I went once to that hill, never since, been to many, many walks around my village, never went back. And then I became conscious about it this last month and knew it's called Balham Hill, Balham Hill. And I knew what had happened. And I went in and did lots of work. And now I see it. That's obviously why I was here. I was thinking, why am I here?
mhm,
And we changed the energy. And now when I look at it, you can see it in the sky. It's very
yep,
different. Now, that's just one little hill, but the thing is, it's in these massive stone monuments that people think are wonderful and brilliant because they're locked into that other mind and haven't gone
yes,
into their expansive one. So,
yes.
what would you like to say about that? Because all this information is so important and useful,
Absolutely.
transcending.
I love those words, important and useful. We are not storytellers. We don't have time to waste, you and I, my dear friend. We would like to talk about something and then present a solution for our esteemed audience. So let's do that. The location of these sacred sites, they have always been sacred. Now, I mentioned that the gift of evolution and the experiment, which is the creation of the ultimate super being in the infinite fractal of existence, could not happen without Earth. But there's a very good reason for this. The missing parts of computational approaches need to be filled in organically. This is a gift of life and love. Very early on, planet Earth was gifted with many of these, I like to call guardian crystals. Even a single one is enough for the path of life and evolution to go forward. Earth was gifted with many thousand, strategically placed under the surface, going all around the planet, and also included in the depths of the oceans, creating a grid. Now, you don't need to knock out the entire nervous system to disable this. The crystals are host to very sentient beings, incredibly gentle, called the guardians. So I like to consider those as earth elementals. By sacrificing a large number of people at the same time over the same location, the trauma and pain would become overwhelming, and the guardians would go into a state of sleep or hibernation. Now, to make things worse, sacred geometry was used, and temples or structures were created not only to keep that energy of trauma trapped and present, just in case the guardians want to awaken, but also to prevent those souls that had been sacrificed from ascending. So many of those conscious beings are entrapped within the structure. Okay, so what do you do? What do you do? If you have the capability to do it alone, first of all, open a portal and send these all to a little pocket universe so they receive healing and teaching, and they get a proper life review. So once that occurs, they can re-enter the cycle of divine evolution, consciousness evolution. Then it comes to the breaking of the sacred geometry. A lot of numbers are used. Essentially, you add or take away nodes from the geometry and it collapses upon itself.
Can we insert a point there here? Because I think this is valid and I keep seeing this again and again, so I want to talk about it. We are so used to, in our technologically orientated world, seeing the straight line as the value, the sharp angle and the straight line. And therefore we're celebrating that in this, the ley line, and this connects to this. And I just know, as you were talking about Earth with her unique ability to add that undefinable quality of innovation. I was seeing a circuit board, sort of straightish lines, and then this sort of this wonderful kind of organic kind of magic of wiggle, which is our planet. And now people are going, oh yeah, ley lines, it's so cool, and sacred geometry. And I see so many people very invested in these highly structured prisms again, the straight line. And we know that the way energy moves is always in wave. That's a formation, that's a curved formation. So I thought I would just bring that in because I'd love you to add to that. I think we need to bring more of this awareness through too.
Yes. So breaking of the prism or dismantling sacred geometry. Numbers are used. If you go up to a certain level, usually there are 8 nodes or more, or multiples of numbers between 1 to 8. When you reach 9, it collapses on itself. So if you're aware of the geometry and you can perceive it, you just add 1 node and it all shrinks and shrivels into nothingness. Another way of doing this is going to a place that is superior to where it was created. And a guaranteed place to approach it from is the primordial void, the sacred void, a realm where all potentiality exists, but nothing yet is solid into or consolidated into a single manifestation.
So we could call that source, couldn't we? The place of all creation, innovation.
It lies under the feet of the beloved source. It is the first thing when source says, okay, let's have some fun. That is the first realm. So now, instead of all being one, different potentialities exist. Then comes sound, light, and then the dimensions. Yeah. By the way, each universe has its own source, which are aspects of the source of all things. It's a fractal. It repeats over and over in different scale. So going from source, this is, by the way, the path of Tantra, more specifically the path of Vajrakila Tantra. You embody that energy, and then you can just speak out of existence any sort of abuse of spirituality, sacred geometry, magic, whatnot. There is no limit. Time, space, dimension, nothing really comes close to what this does. These are 2 approaches that I may recommend. There are others that may find other...
I mean, when you say speak out of existence, I wanted to just hold that point, slow it down a moment for people, because
Sure.
So here's the thing we've identified that has incompatibility with our true humanity. And then we want to create a change, a shift. And you're saying you speak it into reality, into existence.
I'll do you one better.
Good.
Hey, let's do a little manifesty work. Okay. So let's speak into existence the facilitation of conditions that lead to the highest soul purpose and the highest good and greatest life and health, wealth, abundance, joy, excitement, and evolution for those who are hearing our voice. And may the blessings overflow, and may this overflow wash across the cosmos and serve the highest good of all. So, instruments. Yes. So now let's bring in the primordial void. Instruments are used for this. This is called a furba. This is a tent peg. The Buddhists use it to peg stuff into the ground, but it is very symbolic. This is the dorje, the center of all, and then the extremes that go light and dark. And this is the being that you are embodying It is the representation of the Vajrakila. It is the action of all the Buddhas. And sometimes there are beings that do not respond to polite language and they need a little slap around. So this is where the Buddhists bring in the action, so to speak. So the mantra is very simple. So you have to hold these instruments and then let's build up some energy with the mantra so that we manifest what we spoke about. Om Vajra Kili Kilaya Sarva Vignam Vamhumpe. Om Vajra Kili Kilaya Sarva Vignam Vamhumpe. Om Vajra Kili Kilaya Sarva Vignam Vamhumpe. That beautiful idea of the blessings overflowing, that which we spoke about, I peg this into reality and manifest it with this sound.
Now, as you are doing this, so I use overtone, yeah? So the sound that was in my head was the sound that was the thread through all your words. Okay, so I could feel that within me.
Precisely. Precisely.
As you said. So this is when, to go back to what we said at the beginning, that you can walk through a city and you can have certain frequencies active and you're clearing.
Precise. Well, spot on. That hue is represented in the mantra Hum. You can extend it like Om. Om starts, that's the sound of the divine. Hue is the blue syllable of creation, what you are hearing. Spot on.
Yeah,
Nicely done.
I use it a lot, but thank you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So this is one of the approaches. If there is a being or a collective of beings or an entire species of beings that are degenerate, causing harm, they can be appropriately addressed. I like to assign these beings to a spiritual prison where a process of burning begins. This is not a wrathful fire. They disintegrate to such a degree for what remains to be of service to the highest good of all once again. So just getting rid of the cancer, getting rid of the damaged parts, because it's not all bad. It seems to be effective.
The compost symbol.
Yes.
Because I
Yes.
love to work with it. Yeah, you get a tremendous heat, that conversion of the rubbish into that
Yes.
beautiful fertile soil.
Yes. Or even better, send that energy to our Mother Earth and bless her along her evolution. That'll do everybody good.
Yeah. Alchemy is where we are, in truth.
Oh, yeah.
I knew it was going to be fun. So, okay,
Oh, yeah.
now we've gone into our beautiful world healing. Let's be funny for a moment, because you always get these gems when you're funny. Us humans beings, don't we, in our funny, silly strangeness, quirkiness. I suspect you've had a moment somewhere. I wonder what comes up as a memory where you've been involved in some shift, some alchemization, some clearing, some healing, and something completely unexpected has come through. Can you think of something like that you would like to share?
Oh, my goodness. Where do I even go with that?
Those strange, those weirdly wonderful, magical moments.
Well, these occur along the journey when you release a certain limitation or binding or boundary of the ego. It happened on my journey down and on my journey up. So I've worked with all energies, extreme dark and extreme light, and now I'm comfortably sitting in the middle. So I'm kind of hesitant on what I can share. Something really remarkable.
Whatever you share will be correct, perfect for this discussion.
Well, let's talk about that period in my life when I was really, really low. And I had very dark depression. So that's ages ago. That is completely removed from my energy. And so I can speak about it without any effect or without it having any polarity. There was a moment of extreme low where I called to the beloved source. Okay, I've had enough. Either fix me or take me. And I was ready for either outcome. A portal opened behind me, and this rainbow combination of all colors came out and blasted my heart. And it started washing away all that accumulated darkness. None of it was mine.
Mm.
And so the first thing was a sense of relief, but then tears started flowing. I couldn't stop crying for about 3 hours. My tear ducts ran dry, but I was still crying from the profundity of this beauty. And so this energy that did this for me was Ascended Master Yeshua,
Mm.
also known as Jesus,
Nice guy.
completely unexpected. And as I was crying, I didn't want to let go. I said, please, 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 I want to be more like you. I want to be more like you. And there was just this sublime, gentle smile. Oh, you poor child. Stop thinking about everyone else. Let's fix you first, because otherwise you are no good to anyone. And that really, really stuck with me. It not only got rid of that energy of sadness and depression permanently, but that's one of the other threads that I never let go of. I'm having to control myself because tears want to come once again as I'm remembering this beautiful, graceful being.
It's this
Certain
moment
things,
of the compassion, isn't it? It's this the true compassion with the passion, with the energy of love. You are allowed to be in that state. You are allowed to have that to be
I truly wish this for everyone. Being touched by a being of such rank and pure love. And then the message at the end of this was, look what I can do. You can do better. Go, monkey boy, have fun, right? With this incredible soft
He's
sense of
funny.
humor.
He is
Yeah.
funny.
So I think that would be a nice one to share. There are other ones that are more energetic. As the beginning of my journey on the path of working with void magic, there are many energies or conscious beings that are gatekeepers.
Mm.
For example, Mother Kali.
Oh, she's
She
an
she is
interesting one.
she is the representation of the rightful wrath of the feminine. Think of the energy of a woman saying, "You do not mess with my children." Now, that is a force to be reckoned with. There was an initiation where I was taken out of body, brought to a temple. I later located it. I was guided. I could find it in Bangladesh. Small temple with an indoor pool. I was tied to a post and she set me ablaze. And I initially felt this burning, but then two other beings came out of me, one to the left and one to the right. The flames were there. We were all burning. They were screaming and I was chilling. And so they burned completely down to ash. And then the priests came in with big buckets of water and washed all the ash into the pool. I was released from the pole. And then Kali came and said, "You have a choice." And me being me, I gave her a smile and jumped into the pool, which turns out to be the correct answer. Yeah. And so in the pool, a little piece of human bone came into my teeth. So this experience was very real, including the initial burning. But then that was representation of reabsorbing that which had been transmuted. What she burnt in me was my ego and illusion.
And also, perhaps when you say that, the men on our planet have had it rough in a different way to the women. I mean, terrible what's happened to both of them. But for the men, the horrid thing has been to cut off their love, to cut
Yeah,
off their ability to feel, and therefore the atrocities that happen to the female as a result. It's almost as though that was a moment of just releasing every part of that programming from thousands of years of inhabitation here.
agreed. Very profound. And since that event, um, whenever I get my dumb ass into trouble, guess who shows up? every now and again, there are groups that wish to take me on. I've never shared this, but I feel that it is appropriate. Entire covens coming, oh, rah, 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 and they don't know that there is no me. There is no me. There is no Amir.
Just
There's
sit
only the
aside.
beloved divine. And so when I'm inflicted with the worst of the worst, Kali comes and goes, boop. I say, oh my God, I did it again, didn't I? Oi, oi, oi. And so then comes the righteous judgment. So being inflicted in that way serves a purpose. You illuminate and identify the wrongdoers beyond denial. They can't say, no, we didn't mean to. No, we didn't know what we were doing. Oh, yes, you did. I'm the
That's my
evidence.
favorite thing at the moment is whenever anything of negative nonsense comes towards me, it's just such a joy to be able to bundle it up and
Yep,
send it back. And that's
sure.
probably only because I had an experience once, it's the experience informs your memory, doesn't it, really, of a tool. I was with a man who lots of women coveted, and he had become monogamous to be with me. Wasn't anyway, I didn't stay with him, but there was this woman flirting with him, wanted him. She was being nasty to me, and I just calmly, just quietly said something to her. The next second, she stubbed her toe so hard
Mhm.
because the calm quiet pushed that energy of hers back upon
Mhm.
herself. It was such a useful moment to understand.
Yes, yes.
And we need those
We,
tools, don't we? With these baddies that we're sort of pushing into the compost bins and back into source
yes,
and
yes.
recycling and
We've
fun.
reached that point where polite language and reading the rule book doesn't work. We're dealing with a bunch of pirates. And so if they can chop your head off and steal your energy, that's exactly what they've been doing. So it requires more direct and active approaches to this kind of problem. And that is happening, rightfully so. There's no vengeance or cruelty. There's no satisfaction in the outcome. It is what it is, and it is absolutely necessary.
And the imagination, this power tool of a child that you have, that I have, because that's your human essence is really this infinite crazy creator that whoop, 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 we could do this and this and this. And that's actually what almost makes it fun, what makes it palatable, because it's not fun dealing with a group of beings that want to kill millions of people. But it's kind of fun to work out what you can create in the realm of consciousness to kind of corral them and get them to collapse in upon themselves. And that's this wonderful tool that we're given, this crazy, quirky imagination.
Sure. And there's always that silver lining that even among the worst of the worst, when presented with a genuine and valid offer of ascension, 85% of them almost accept. There's so much hope in that. Not all of them are acting out of free will. Many of those wrongdoers are under compulsion, under threat, in debt. They are forced to do what they are doing and they are not happy. So when they're presented with an opportunity to undo their wrong, learn from it and evolve, they go for it. And I see this, and you probably do see this also in the healing work that we do. And then that's good because we've really boiled it down to the worst of the worst of the worst, and then they have to go, rightfully so.
Yeah.
So there is always that joy of seeing the rectification of the problem in the
Yeah.
best way.
There was a guy, not a human, a non-human, one of the demonic, quite large entities that last year I had conversations with. I was not happy with what he was up to. And so a lot of big angelics actually put him in, because I'd seen this in visions, so we just enacted it, put him in chains. And we spoke to him and said, look, you have a year from this day. And you have a year. We're giving you a year. You can't do anything right now because you're in chains. There's no, but we're giving you a year to consider. Do you want to turn back to source, to your light being, to the quality of soul? Or you could just go back and, be
Hmm.
reabsorbed. So I like even that, that was and we set it up as an automative thing that
Yes.
literally at the end of that year, because of the choice, it would be that or that. And these kind of things are beautiful because the burden of punishment was one of the tools used to condition us and repress us. So we're not the punishers. We are the sovereign beings, the light bringers, the enlighteners.
Yes, absolutely. When things have gone out of balance, it is not a punishment to bring things back to sacred balance. And if there's a being that is damaged and distorted, and we offer them repair and healing and a path towards not just back to where they started, but to become better, to continue evolving, that is not cruelty either. And we're not doing this to satisfy or cover up a sense of pain that is not resolved or healed in us. There is no vengeance here. It is the prevention of undue harm upon countless other sentient beings. These fire elementals, aka demons, they hate that name, most of them, but they live very long lives. Many of them have been around for millions of years. They've seen our ancestors rise and fall, and as a result, they might have lost a bit of respect for us. But once we reconnect, comes back all that glory that is our birthright, that is built into us, they cannot deny. I agree with you. It is time for this righteous rectification and rebalancing of the conditions of life on earth, and that is our destiny. We're going to see the fruits of our labor in this incarnation, and perhaps many of us will choose to come back and continue this work. Many of us have earned our get out of jail free card eons ago. We're not here to learn how to escape the cycle of reincarnation. No, that's an elementary level of evolution. But coming back, going through the whole thing and being exposed to the terrible conditions here and then liberating others with you, that's a whole other level. And that's what we're doing, really. And I would imagine that many of those that are listening to this conversation will agree. We're good. In fact, many of us don't find any attraction or joy in the outside world. We like our own energy and our own company much more. It's much more beautiful and pristine. And yet we still engage with the day-to-day and the people who are still in a condition of amnesia, overwhelmed by burdens that are, quite frankly, unfair. They have no other way, if not for teachers and healers and way showers. It's just unfair. So we're here to make things fair. There is no cruelty in this. There's just beauty.
I felt drawn to bring it to a very kind of practical moment there of, I suppose people will find you through a recommendation, or like I found you, and feel you and hear you and say, I had this, I don't know what it is. Can you help me fix it? Is this what you're doing a lot on a kind of everyday? You're working with individual beings who come to you and say, can you help me with something? Can you just help me? Is this what's happening for you?
Sure. So at the beginning of a typical session, I warmly greet the person with a big smile and then dive right into it. I ask them what they need, and they describe a certain problem. Usually it's that they have reached a plateau. They think that their evolution has stopped for one reason or another. So then the first part is reading their energy without entering the vessel or going into their sovereign boundaries. Let's see how far we can go. Now, depending on how far I can see, it would indicate the presence or absence of blockages. Certain people that are healers themselves, you can go all the way back. Oh, yes, your soul came from here and here and here. This is what you're doing. This is what you brought with you. Oh, by the way, you've got very cool upgrades available for you. Would you like them? And sometimes you're stuck right at the surface. You can't make it through. Then I ask for the permission and then start looking at the different parts of the energetic structure, starting from the soul star, going all the way through the tube of light, the vessel, going into the earth star. Of course, the branches of the soul star, many other names given, universal star, galactic gateway, divine gateway. I just see these as branches going everywhere. Depending on where the opposition is, or maybe they've been in an ancient battle Sometimes weapons are lodged in their energy. Spears, arrows,
I'm amazed
axes,
at
you
that. It's like, oh, what? This arrow?
what yeah. So
Mm.
these may be stuck there and they're preventing the mechanism from moving, the geometry or technology of their soul or consciousness from functioning. That I remove. And then usually, well, not usually, all of the time, people have AI, sentient parasites connected to crown, third eye. They cause cyclical thoughts that are disruptive, heavy energy, anger, fear, or something of that nature. They also mess with the quality of sleep, and they also prevent us from remembering, not just memories of the physical reality, but soul memories.
They keep you in a spin, don't they? It's just like a
Exactly
repetitive
right.
program repeated.
Exactly right. And then we've got a whole range of implants and energy harvesting tech going through the body. By the way, the chakra system is not native to the infinite, continuous human. They seem to be ports of entry. They're like USB ports because energy harvesting, if the aura and the energy boundaries are torn, it's so traumatic, it will result in the death of the being. So in vitro, when we are still in development in fetal stages, these are incorporated into our energy as part of the conditions of the matrix. By the time we are born, 90% of the job is done, including these goddamn chakras. So it's not just harvesting through many sentient beings. Lots of parasites like to infect the chakras. So clearing of those. The most common one is the harvesting from the root, the Kundalini energy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so that is, well, it is what it is. Removal of this, I use the Egyptian sistrum, shift it into another phase. So as we pull it out, it doesn't snag on anything. And then, of course, filling the vessel with light from their infinite soul slash beloved source, the same thing. And then going down, something else that is very, very common, in addition to the severance of the earth bridge, many people are covered from their knees below with a substance that I see like tar or goo. A very dumb substance, no sentience to it, but very effective. So you can't anchor your light. So in different levels, the body seems to be the entire body, physical and energetic, seems to be messed with. Now, once these are removed, now the person can stand up on their feet and now look for something that will keep them strong and keep them evolving. So there comes the second part. I share this modality of kujikiri with clients, and I tell them right away, learning it is done in an hour and a half, 2 hours, but mastery is all on you. I'm not guaranteeing anything. By the way, this magical system has its own built-in defense mechanism based on integrity. And so if there's somebody who refuses to evolve and wants to just abuse it, it doesn't work for them. They are booted
Yeah.
out.
Mm.
So healing and evolution, and that's it. I don't take repeat clients. I absolutely refuse. Now, if somebody is on their path of, let's say, doing the kujikiri, I do support for them again without additional charge. Oh, hey, this happened and this happened. I say, oh, yes, that's the storm. Remember, we talked about this. You're going to feel better after it. And then they come back next week. Ah, oh, that was a doozy. Let's do that again.
Yeah, this is how teaching should be. I've been a teacher of performing arts. That was my camouflage for getting the soul into the children's body. And you're supposed to come every week, for an activation. And of course they needed to, because they came to me to remember, oh, yes, I'm creative. I have an inner voice that speaks through me and tells me what to do with my body. But they needed to be reminded because everything else in their universe was saying the opposite. So
Yes.
that is the nature of the nonsense that we're living in, that we need this repetition
Yes.
until we get to that place that we just decide we can switch, we can change, and then we create, and then we become
Oh, yeah.
these exciting players doing things with our beautiful planet. It's such a delight. What a delight. Thank you so much for giving
It's
me your power and
my
this
honor and pleasure. Hey,
really
let's do this
wonderful.
again.
Yeah, let's do it again. And you get to choose what you want. You choose a topic. That could be fun because I did all the
Um,
questioning. Or we just synchronize it and see what comes through. That's also
let's
that
let's
really
let's let's
enjoy.
free flow.
Free flow is
Let's
super.
play. Yes.
Yes,
Let's see
playful.
what comes up. Usually, you design. I learned that early on. I was saying, okay, in before a session, I was saying, okay, I'm going to do this, then this, then this, then this, and then I'd start, and all that would go out of the window because something else was going on. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that free flow, that playing by ear. Let's see what comes up. Yeah, then so they're more organic.
Beautiful. Yeah,
Great,
wonderful.
great, great, great.
Yes,
So
our
thank you so
audience,
much.
I may separate this because it was for us a joy, but I think I want people to be able to hear and feel and digest. So I'm going to separate it into two pieces
Okay,
and put it up on the web. Thank you so very much. Have a
it's
beautiful
an honor,
afternoon.
absolute honor. Thank you.
Night. Thank you. And see you soon. Yeah.
I look forward to it. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. Bye
Yep.
bye.
Have a great day. Take care. Bye bye. Bye.